Hello friends, my name is Kim Anderson. I'm so happy that you've decided to join me here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed already, then definitely do that. I'm going to have new classes coming out each week, so you'll want to be on the lookout for that. Today's practice it's going to take us all around the mat and all around the body. So a great general practice just to get you moving, to get you present in your body, and really good to just kind of get that energy going when you've got a bit of a lull, whether that be in the morning to get you going first thing, or later on in the afternoon when you start to have a little bit of a decline in your energy levels. So we will get started lying on our back. So lying on your back, separate your legs with your legs bent. Bring your knees in toward your armpits and bring your arms to the inside of your legs and just let your hands rest on top. And you'll feel that with your hands just delicately resting on top, already a little bit of gravity, the force of your arms without pushing or pulling is going to separate your legs a little bit more, get a little bit more into the inner thigh, and feel the area behind your shoulders drop back into the mat. And at the same time, try to note the entire space of your upper and lower back that is pressing into the mat. And let your eyes close. Relax your jaw and begin to breathe in and out through your nose. Feeling the tension melt out of your face, out of your neck. And trying to feel the space open up in your belly. Feeling the rise and fall as you breathe. And just bringing your awareness into what you have going on inside your body. So feeling the various sensations. And from here, you might want to widen the space between your toes, do a few circles with your ankles, your feet. Bend your toes. Gently pull with your hands, opening your inner thighs a little bit more. And after these little fidgety movements, just checking in to see what kind of space you have. Now try to bring everything into a very still place. Deep breathing. Trying to slow it down and even it out. But without overthinking it. And after your next exhale, feeling all of the air out of your lungs, begin to inhale deeply in through your nose. Feel your breath as it's going down your throat, filling up your lungs, filling up your belly, filling up your body. And when you get to the max, just hold it. And then inhale a little bit more. And then hold it again. And inhale a little sip more. Relax your hands, your shoulders, your face, and open your mouth. Exhale everything out. Feeling your entire back area growing heavy to the mat. Now come back into your breathing deeply in and out through your nose. Shift your hands to the outside of your knees, and now use your hands to bring your legs together. So legs are still bent. Bring your legs together, and then your hands will gently pull your knees down toward your chest. You can begin to blink your eyes open if they're still closed, and then reach your feet up to the sky, Shift your hands around to the back of your thighs, and with your legs still bent, you can roll backwards and forwards just 2 or 3 times, and getting more to the side of the spine. So you're getting a bit of a muscle massage here. You shouldn't be crunching onto any bones. And then inhale, come forward, crossing your legs, roll over your knees, and come into tabletop. So checking your alignment, you have your knees directly below your hips and your wrists are aligned directly below your shoulders. Now push the crown of your head to the front, in the direction of the front of the mat, and push your bum toward the back of the mat. So this is not a lengthening that you can really perceive from the outside, but you can feel it on the inside. And as you're trying to lengthen your spine more, your gaze is between your hands and your chin is lightly coming down toward your chest. You can feel that you need to engage your core, so pulling your belly button in order to lengthen your spine a little bit more. Really pushing into your hands, nice and strong. Now activate your hands toward each other. So it's almost as though you want to unite your thumbs, but your hands don't actually move. Pretend they've been super glued to the mat and you can't move them, but you're trying to bring them together, and feel the fire that creates in your inner arms. And now do the same thing with your knees. So it's like you're trying to draw your knees toward each other, but they won't move, but they're trying. Now, the same idea of this activation, where your hands and knees don't actually move, but you're activating them, make the direction now with your hands, drawing them back, like you're trying to drag them toward your knees. And the same thing with your knees, you're trying to pull your knees forward toward your hands, but everything is super glued down, so you can't move. But as you activate hands toward knees, knees toward hands, belly drawing in, begin to shift your belly button down toward the mat. And it's as though a hook is on your heart and it's pulling it forward, almost coming between your arms, and you lift your gaze and look forward. This is super, super active. You probably will start to feel a little or a lot of warmth. Now as you exhale, push away the mat with your hands, with your knees, with your toes, and really open up between your shoulder blades. It's a luxurious feeling to just open this area up with a lot of attention. This is very active. And then inhaling again, activate hands toward knees, knees toward hands, dropping your belly, giving some space to your neck as you gaze forward, and imagine that you're pushing your butt backwards. And then exhale again, pushing the mat away, pulling pubic bone in toward your sternum and rounding, rounding, rounding. One more time with our breath, inhaling, dropping the belly down, starting to pull hands toward knees, pull your shoulders back, look forward, and then exhale, bringing your pubic bone forward, rounding into your spine, opening between your scapula. Inhale, coming back into a neutral position, but you're still really active with your hands, with your feet, your knees, lengthening your spine. Begin to lengthen your right leg toward the back of the mat, but keep your toes facing down so your hips stay square. And then pushing into your right hand, begin to lengthen your left arm forward. So we're trying not to sink down into our right shoulder, but pushing into the mat with your right hand, staying nice and strong. Think more length, so creating some space between your left fingertips and your right toes. And then begin to exhale, bend your left arm and your right leg, and bring elbow and knee to press. And if they don't touch, just try. And if they do touch, really press, 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 like you have an orange and you want to squeeze it to make orange juice. Keep squeezing. And then lengthen everything out again. Feel the fire that's starting to turn on. And bring your left hand down. Again, placing it where it was before. Begin to turn your right foot parallel to the back of the mat. And from here, keeping your left elbow a little bit bent, start to lift your right hand up to the sky. So you want to make sure that the whole sole of your right foot is pushing down into the mat, especially the right side of your right foot. Pushing your heart a little bit forward, draw your shoulder blades together, and your right fingertips are trying to reach up to the sky. Now, if you would like, you can try to see if you can lighten your left leg and maybe even lift it. And if not, you just stay with that left knee down and work on lengthening in your right side body. If you're lifting your left leg, then you can maybe lengthen it to the right. The left side of your left foot is down, and begin to angle your toes toward the back of the mat, your right toes, and start to lift your chest and look up to the sky. So reverse triangle. Keep your knees a little bit bent. On your next exhale, look down. Bring your right hand down. Now, if your left knee is still on the mat, you can now lift it and shift the left foot over to the right, and then gently come down onto your left hip. So your left foot is aligned with your left hip, and your left foot is flexed. Now, you can let your right foot relax a little bit at the back of the mat. Come onto fingertips. Now, this is really intense in the outer left hip. You can make it a little more intense if you want to go further by activating the left side of your left foot down, pushing it into the mat, and then pulling your left hip more to the left. So again, these are movements that you can't see on the outside, but you definitely feel them when you make these activations. Walking your hands back, lift your chest and look forward. And then from here, if you would like, you can exhale and walk your forearms down. Start to drag your forearms down, pull your heart forward, lengthen. Walk your hands back up. And then from here, rotate your toes to face up. So now you're in a V-sit. You're going to turn your body toward the back corner of your mat. Inhale, lifting your arms up, activating your feet and rotating your legs externally. And then exhale, bring your hands down. And then walk your chest forward. So it's your heart staying up and walking forward. So keep lengthening without rounding the upper part of your back. Inhale. And then exhale, you can walk a little bit deeper if you would like. Inhale, walk yourself back up. And then exhale, you're going to cross your legs, roll onto hands and knees, and come into tabletop facing the back of the mat. It's nice to change point of view sometimes. So now we are backwards on our mat and loving it. Looking again at our alignment, wrists are below our shoulders, knees are below our hips. Again, begin the activation of pulling hands toward knees, knees toward hand, and inhale to let your belly drop, but it's active. Pull your shoulders back, lengthen your throat, look forward, inhaling. And then exhale, pushing into the mat, opening everything up in your back, rounding it toward the ceiling. And then coming back to neutral. From here, begin to put your weight into your left hand and bring your right hand forward and your left leg back. Again, we're trying not to sink down. We're keeping our
our torso parallel to the mat, thinking more about the space we're creating between our right fingers and our left toes. Try to spread your toes wide, spread your fingers wide. And on the next exhale, you're going to bend your left leg, bend your right knee, and bring elbow and knee to meet. And make your juice, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Again, if they don't touch, just try to go in that direction. Keep your jaw relaxed. And then inhale, lengthen everything again. And exhale, bring just your right hand down. Turn your left hand at your left foot. And make that parallel to the back of your mat, which is now the top of your mat, just to make things confusing. And from here, with your right knee aligned with your right hand and your left foot, open your left hand up toward the sky. Again, here it's really important that the entire sole of your left foot is pushing into the mat, a good grip. So try to really grip with your left toes. And squeeze that space between your scapula, pushing your heart forward. And then if you want to see, you can maybe push a little bit more into your right hand, activate your left foot down, and see if you can lift your right leg. And if you can't, that's fine. You just stay with the right knee down. If you can, then you might want to lengthen your right leg, placing the right side of your right foot down, angle your left toes toward the back of the mat, and then open yourself up. Rotate your ribs up toward the sky, keep a soft bend in your right elbow. If you're shaking, that's totally fine, you're developing strength. Exhale, bring your left hand down. If your right knee is still on the ground, now you can lift it and extend your right leg to the left and come down gently onto your right hip. Right foot stays flexed. Come onto your fingertips and lift the crown of your head toward the ceiling. Activate the right side of your foot into the mat. Pull your right hip more toward the right. And then exhale, come down onto forearms. Try to breathe as best you can in this twist and drag your forearms back as you pull your heart forward and create some space in your spine, some lengthening while we rotate. And from here, inhale, come back up onto your hands. You're going to start to turn so all your toes are facing up. Bring your ribs to face the center between your legs in a V-sit, your hands up toward the ceiling, and exhale to come forward. Again, bringing your hands down and not slumping into it or curving forward, but bringing your hands down so you can activate them, pull them back, and pull your heart forward. Keep your feet super, super active, so toes spreading wide and feet rotating toward the outside, so rotating backwards. Exhale if you want to walk a little bit deeper into it. Inhale to come back up. And then exhale, you can cross your legs in front of you, roll onto your knees, and we are back in tabletop. From here, activating hands to knees, knees to hands. Inhale to lengthen and look forward. And exhale, you can even exhale out of your mouth to try to push any tension out of your body that bubbled up. Come back to center. And from here, begin to lift your knees, slide, activating your hands forward, slide your ribs toward your thighs, lift your hips into downward facing dog. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Come back into your steady breathing. Keep your knees slightly bent. Your hands are shoulders distance apart with the fingers spread wide. Give some space to your neck by shifting your ears away from your shoulders and in the direction of your thumbs. And push your tailbone up, keeping a soft bend in your knees. Nice and strong in your belly. Take one more inhale into your nose. And out of your mouth, exhale everything out. From here, inhale, you're going to step your left foot forward toward your left hand. Turn your right foot parallel to the back of the mat. Now walk your left foot a little bit more to the left side of the mat. So between your feet, you kind of have hips distance. It'll help with stability. And then inhale to come up into warrior one. Try to keep your hips squared forward. And notice the right side of your right foot and see if you can really press it down into the mat, gripping with your feet. Inhale to lengthen your hands up. Your left knee is over your left ankle and it stays there. Try to keep your legs really, really stable here. As you exhale, you're going to open your arms wide, start to bring them behind you and shift your heart forward. And then inhale to bring your arms in front of you and come back up. So we're making circles with our arms. That was one. We're going to do two more. So bringing your heart forward and then sweeping really slowly your arms in front of you and then coming back up. Engage your core. Pull that belly button in. And then exhale fluidly, coming forward. Bringing your arms forward. And then inhaling to come back up. Exhale, this time you're going to bring your hands to the inside of your left foot and then walk to the middle, turning your left foot so your feet are now parallel. And you can walk your feet a little bit closer, a little bit farther apart. Just try to feel what feels right. But keep your knees a little bit bent and try to really push more down into the outside of your feet. And if you would like for more stability, you can have your heels slightly out with your toes slightly in, and that's going to help to alleviate that sensation of falling forward. Bring your right hand beneath your face and begin to push the crown of your head forward and your tailbone back. So think first to lengthen your spine, inhaling. And then as you exhale, then you start to rotate toward the left, bringing left hand up to the sky. And if it's okay with your neck, you can gaze up toward your left hand. Now, again, activate the outer edge of both feet, pushing it into the mat. Push the crown of your head forward and push your tailbone back. On an exhale, look down. You're going to bring your left hand, put it where your right hand was. And then inhale again to lengthen first. And then as you exhale, rotating to the right, bringing your right hand up to the sky. Relax your jaw, relax your eyes, your face. And then looking down, exhaling to bring your right hand down. From here, with your right heel on the ground, just shift your right toes. So your right foot's on a 45-degree angle. Your toes are pointing to the back corner of your mat. And then begin to walk your hands closer to the back of your mat. Rotate onto your left heel, and your left toes are going to point up to the sky. So here you might stay up on your right toes, and that's fine, keeping your hands on the ground. If your right heel is on the ground, then you can start to maybe think about lessening the weight on your hands. Keep a soft bend in your left knee, really important, so you're not hyperextending that leg. Spread your left toes wide. Bring right hand to the back corner of your mat, if you would like, and inhale to lift your left hand up to the sky. Push your heart forward. And then exhale, coming back down. Begin to lift your hips, turn your toes toward the back of the mat. Walk your right foot over to the right side of the mat and your left foot a little bit more to the left at a 45-degree angle. Right knee over your right ankle, and inhale, coming up into warrior one, facing the opposite direction. Squaring your hips and inhaling to reach your fingertips up toward the ceiling. On an exhale, really pushing into both feet actively. Bring your ribs forward, your heart forward, bring your arms back. And then sweeping your arms forward, inhale to come back up. And we'll do 2 more times with our breath. So coming forward, slowly lengthening our arms and inhaling to come back up. And then exhale, heart comes forward. Followed by arms pushing into your feet, nice and strong. And then exhale, bring your hands to the inside of your right foot and walk to the center again. Finding the position with your feet that's going to keep you most comfortable. Inhale to push your bum back, the crown of your head forward. And then exhale, left hand below your face. Inhale to lengthen your spine. And then exhale to lift your right hand up to the sky, gazing up if it's okay for your neck. If not, you can keep your gaze toward your left hand. Exhale, right hand down below your face, lengthening your spine as you inhale. And then exhale, turning, gazing up to your left hand that is trying to reach the stars. Exhale, looking down, bring your left hand down. And we're gonna walk our hands toward our left foot. Turn left toes to face the top right corner of your mat. So your left foot's a 45-degree angle. And we're gonna start to shift into our left leg, bending it, and rotate onto our right heel, bringing our right toes up to face the ceiling, a soft bend in our right knee, so we don't hyperextend. Now, you can keep your hands on the ground, perfectly fine, and just work on trying to feel the strength and your balance developing in this position. If you feel comfortable, then you can have your left arm on the inside of your left leg, bring your hand to the mat, and then inhale to rotate and bring your right hand up to the sky. Again, you choose where you are and you choose what your body needs. And that might change from today to tomorrow. So never assuming you need to do a specific pose in a specific way. Looking down, bringing right hand down, lifting yourself up, and now pointing all of your feet, all of your toes to the top of the mat. And then from here, push into the mat. You can bend your left leg and then step back to downward facing dog. Let the sensations run through your legs, run through your body. Take a nice deep inhale into your nose. And then exhale everything out of your mouth. Inhale, come onto your tippy toes. Begin to shift yourself forward into plank. So your shoulders are above your wrists, lengthening out of the crown of your head and lengthening out of your heels. Your core is nice and engaged, nice and strong. And then begin to come down onto your knees for 5. Slowly, slowly. 4, 3, pull your belly button in and smile. 2, and 1. When you get your knees down, inhale, let your belly drop, look forward. And then exhale, come into child's position. So bringing your forehead to the mat. And just letting yourself sink in. Release the action. Let everything go. Begin to look forward. Come up on the hands and your knees, and then from here, you can walk your knees back a little bit. Gently roll onto your belly. So coming onto your belly. Bring your hands basically the width of the mat, turning your hands about 45 degrees. You can widen your feet, even the width of your mat, keeping the top of your feet on the ground. Elbows pointing up. On an inhale, lifting your shoulders toward your ears. And then keeping your elbows bent. On an exhale, start to drag your hands back. So again, we're looking at that activation of your hands where they don't move. They're super glued to your mat, but you're trying to pull them back. Now feel how this pulls your heart forward. Keep your belly button pulling in. Everything's engaged. Pushing your pubic bone into the mat. Pushing the top of your feet into the mat. Lifting out of the crown of your head. Nice and strong. Relax your jaw. One more inhale to lift your head up. Push your heart further forward. And on an exhale, feel every movement as you slowly, slowly, slowly roll yourself down. And bring one hand on top of the other. Lay your forehead on your hands and you can shake your hips from right to left. From here, you can lengthen out one arm or the other to roll yourself onto your back. Lengthen out your legs, lengthen out your arms. Take one more deep, deep inhale into your nose. And out of your mouth, exhale. Coming into Shavasana, allowing your body to digest everything that's happened. So oftentimes as we kind of poke and prod during our practice, we're opening and moving. It's almost like when you put a book on a shelf and a whole bunch of dust kind of billows out like a big cloud, and then as the book lays there, the dust starts to settle back down. That's what we're doing here in Shavasana. We're letting everything settle back down. Keeping your body still. If your mind has ventured off somewhere, begin to bring it back into yourself and take a deep inhale into your nose. And then out of your nose or your mouth, exhale. Starting to feel now a little bit more lightness with all of this space. You can start to move fingers, toes, make circles with your wrists and your ankles. And on your next inhale, begin to unite your inner legs. Lift your arms next to your ears and just stretch. from fingers to toes. And we will slowly start to roll onto our side and begin to make our way back up to a seated position. And the invitation is, of course, always there to stay a little bit longer in Shavasana. If you have the space and time to do it, then I really recommend staying there for as long as you have on hand. And just let yourself really sink in and absorb everything. Thank you so, so much for practicing with me today and taking a trip around the mat. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you again.